We're now cutting across to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's day 2 of the Europe visit, the Namaste Europe, and this is now in Denmark. Remember, yesterday in Berlin, Germany, the Prime Minister interacted not just with the official delegation, but obviously there were a lot of Indian diaspora. There was dancing and colour and cheering for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Today, it remains to be seen what exactly will be with regard to the diaspora, but I can tell you that there is a packed itinerary for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There are business meetings that have been scheduled for late in the evening Indian Standard Time. Right now, he's just arrived and is now interacting. We'll try and get you further details on that. He's also going to interact with the Prime Ministers of the Nordic nations, waving right now to the supporters, to the camera persons present there on location. One by one, we are going to give you the updates. Remember, 3-day Europe visit. Yesterday was Germany, today it is Denmark. Remember, this is also at a time when there is an ongoing war in Ukraine, and Prime Minister Modi has appealed for peace and referred very clearly to how important that is. Take a look at all that colour that was witnessed just about a few hours ago. And I presume that is from the location as in when he landed at the airport. So, of course, the Indian diaspora ensuring that he does not miss his home country, and there is colour and dance and cheer. This appears to be, as I can see, perhaps a Marathi dance taking place there yesterday as well, remember. The Shivaji statue and the manner in which they were dressed, we saw a lot of that there in Germany as well. But now, of course, it will be interesting to note how the Prime Minister interacts with the top leadership in Denmark and what will be on agenda for the Prime Minister. Remember, it's not just politics. There are already references that have been done to technology, to climate change. All of this, I've been told, is on agenda with the Nordic nations. And this will be during the Denmark visit. But it will be, as of course we are waiting to see, apart from the official meetings, how the Indian diaspora decides to welcome him. This is scheduled, and right now there is a meeting that is going to be on the itinerary with the Danish Prime Minister. Then there will be a second India-Nordic summit with the Prime Ministers of Denmark, Iceland, Finland, Sweden and Norway. And I can also add here, my colleague Anjana Om Kashyap is on location and travelling with the cavalcade of the Prime Minister, tracking every bit of this meeting. But because this is the second leg of the 3-day visit, it will be primarily focusing on the various elements of the India-Denmark ties. We're also being told there is going to be a green strategic partnership that will be on agenda. And this GSP, the Green Strategic Partnership, was established in September 2020. And according to the government, has translated into a results-oriented 5-year action plan when the Danish PM also had visited India last year. Let's go across now on the ground because Anjana Om Kashyap is there and tracking. Anjana, must be a busy schedule as much for you as well, from one country to another, getting in all the cheer, the sound, the noise and colour. It was fantastic to see what we saw yesterday. What are we expecting from the Indian diaspora?
But today's bilateral with Mette Frederiksen, the Prime Minister of Denmark, is very crucial, and we're right now at her private residence. This is the house where they're having a bilateral meet right now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already entered the premises of the Danish Prime Minister, and they're having the bilateral talks, their consultations, and on the other hand, in a few minutes they'll be but the colours you talked about, Pooja, 3 days and 3 countries. You can imagine the kind of euphoria in the Indian diaspora about Prime Minister Narendra Modi, be it the airport, and even on our way when we saw people walking with little flags. So we knew there's a lot of talk in town, as you said. All the Indians are gathering together. They're going to be welcoming him because after this bilateral, the Prime Minister comes here. Let me quickly show our viewers. The Prime Minister is coming here for a briefing, and we have the SPG guys already taking care of the security and all the measures right here, because along with the Danish Prime Minister, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming here for a press briefing. So you can see the SPG guys taking stock of the entire situation. On the other hand is the entire Danish media which is present here. You can see people from the Indian delegation also who will be signing a grievance here. The Danish media is present. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederik is going to be briefing us here. So the bilaterals have already begun. After this, the colors of the Indian diaspora that you talked about, because we've been showing it yesterday and yet again today, we're going to be out in Copenhagen at the Bella Center, which roughly 2,000 Indians are again gathering today, and the Prime Minister is supposed to be interacting with them. I mean, yesterday he gave a long speech which turned political at certain points, but again tomorrow, today itself, we'll be seeing a huge Indian diaspora interacting with the Prime Minister.
There will be politics, there will be business, there will be strategic references here. But yesterday in his speech, it was very different. The manner in which he usually speaks at international forums, it was very informal. It was in Hindi, he was reaching out to all the diaspora there, made a lot of jokes as well. Do you think, are we expecting any sort of speech or address today to the diaspora? And Anjana, these are the latest visuals on our screens as well. Yes. I will just interrupt you there for a second. This is the Prime Minister right now. Yes, walking. Yes, Anjana, please go ahead.
Yeah. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already entered the premises. The bilaterals have begun between the two countries. But yeah, it did turn political yesterday. There were a lot of jokes. But that's his people connect. That Prime Minister Modi is the master of communication. And he did it yet again. I mean, the kind of claps and the kind of euphoria. After the event was over, we were out and we saw Indian citizens absolutely feeling proud and great about the entire interaction. But what is very tricky today, quickly if you have a 30-second, I can tell you, with Denmark, the relationship has been absolutely up and down, because with regard to the 1995 Kim Devi extradition in 1995, he is accused of the arms dropping case in Purulia, West Bengal. He is here, and his extradition is something that the Indian government has been wanting. 2002, Atal Bihari Vajpayee had come to Denmark. After that, there have never been a bilateral between a Danish Prime Minister and an Indian Prime Minister. Manmohan Singh did come here as Prime Minister, but that was to participate in the UN climate change. Because when the government here did not take up the extradition and appeal against it in the Supreme Court, then the Indian side had actually downscaled the relationship. But I think again on a new footing, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants to establish relations with Denmark. And let me tell you, Mette Frederik, interestingly, Pooja, is a very popular leader. She was highly acclaimed for her management of COVID when Europe and a lot of countries of Europe were reeling under the pressure of COVID. So she's a social democrat, and she's a very popular leader here in Denmark. So the briefing here, I'm sure, is going to be very interesting, and what comes out of these two prime ministers meet is also going to be something that India is going to be looking at.